Roger P. Foley, and I just posted a video on paid and why I do them, so you can check out that video. But immediately, I think within 6 minutes of posting that video, a follower asked to call you. Can I call a lawyer when I'm stopped by police, right, at a traffic stop? Well, can, but I don't want to be detailed on it. Are you going to be able to get an attorney on the phone if you call at 2 a.m? Probably not, unless that attorney happens to be up and taking calls at 2 a.m. Generally, on a traffic stop, my advice is provide your ID, your registration, your insurance, those items, and don't answer any other questions. It's not necessary. You are not required to answer questions. So, good evening, officer. Sir, the reason I'm pulling you over is because, okay, where you coming from, where you going, do you have any weapons in the car, do you have any drugs in the car, do you have anything I should know about in the car? You just say respectfully, officer, I don't answer any questions. Here's my ID, here's my driver's license. If they give you a ticket for some sort of traffic infraction, sign the ticket. Don't argue and debate. I know that there's some TikTok people and they're gonna teach the lawyer and teach the cop and educate the cop. Listen, sometimes kindness goes a far way. I know there are some rogue cops out there. I get it. But try to control yourself. Control your vocabulary. You know, if that video is ever played, if you're arrested for a criminal charge, we're not talking tickets here, but if you're charged with a criminal case and you want to use your video or the cop has a body camera, you calling him a pig and a Nazi and angry, or just cursing in general and saying, I know the law. My advice, I can't speak for all criminal defense attorneys. My advice is limit the amount of things that you say, understanding that the fight is not in the street, it's not on the side of the road, right? And that even if you are arrested, and I can tell you, the likelihood of being arrested if you're yapping is a lot higher than if you're quiet and polite. Obviously, it depends on the facts, right? If you have a dead body in the back or a kilo of cocaine in plain view, common sense tells you, right, that you're going to get arrested no matter how... Officer, would you like some? Like, you're still going to get arrested, right? But the issue is don't make things worse. So, could you call an attorney when you're being stopped? Absolutely. You could call and maybe you get an attorney on the phone. Maybe you do a paid consultation, but the likelihood of getting all that set up on the fly is rare, right? No, limit your conversation. Now, let's say it's a DUI, right? Because a lot of people say, well, I want to talk to... Well, the courts have already said that you're not entitled to a lawyer upon a police officer beginning a DUI investigation. That's important to know. And again, you can watch videos on DUI. I got a whole bunch of videos on DUI. It's your choice to do the exercises or not do the exercises. It's your choice to continue talking. Other than giving your license and registration and your name and being polite, there's no requirement that you answer any questions. Where you coming from? What'd you have to drink tonight? I would never answer any of those questions because that's giving them available. I would just say, respectfully, I don't answer questions. And then my receptionist will get that, and then I'll call them right back. All right, so are you entitled to an attorney while police are doing an investigation? Not likely. I mean, there's an argument, but again, the safest advice, which is free advice, is don't talk a lot. Minimize what you're saying. My name is Roger P. Foley. Here's my driver's license, insurance, and registration. Sir, where you coming from? Where you going to? Respectfully, don't answer questions, sir. Okay, you're going to play it like that. You might get an aggravated cop. Okay. But again, anyone can be arrested, right? It's probable cause. Probable cause is such a low standard. Don't sweat the arrest. Sweat whether you're convicted, whether you lose your freedom, meaning you go to jail or prison, or if you're placed on probation. Sweat that stuff. And hire the right attorney, that's someone that's seasoned and experienced and successful in actually accomplishing goals, being a voice for somebody. I had a friend, I'm not even going to go into that story. I'll tell that story another day. But paid consultations, it's important, especially if you've been arrested, right? Maybe a police officer calls you up and says, hey, I'd like to get your version of events. That happens a lot on domestic violence cases. You know what that usually turns into, just so you know? An arrest. Doesn't matter what you say. You could say, well, hey, I'll meet you at my job. Guess what? If you don't say anything, you're probably getting arrested, right? They're investigating. They already have one side, or what they believe is one side, and they're probably going to arrest you. Again, you don't have to talk. Now, again, it's your prerogative. You could talk. I've also had cases where people have given sufficient information, although I don't advocate this, right? Because it happens a lot less frequently than when people say stupid things and get themselves arrested, and then there's even more evidence against them of that they committed a crime. So, but I have had clients that have given their version of events. It was recorded, and I used that in case filing. I used that in a trial once, which surprising that the state attorney allowed me to bring it in, because it really was self-serving evidence. But I mean, they don't come over to me, buddy. Pick a lane. Hands free. No, my hands are on the steering wheel at all times. We just have a camera system in the car to do the videos. But anyway, I did have a case where the defendant gave testimony, gave self-serving testimony, explained what happened. I've used that to win in trial. I've used that in case filing. I've used that during motions to suppress. So it's not like you always speak and it always goes bad, but most of the time, let's put it in the 98th percentile. So it's better to be polite and quiet. Anyway, I'm attorney Roger P. Foley, just commenting on the viewer that asked me, hey, can I call you during a traffic stop? Well, you may get me, you may not, right? If I'm taking a deposition, if I'm meeting with another client, if I'm in court, if I'm in trial, if I'm in a hearing, if I'm meeting with a state attorney or a judge, no, you're probably not going to reach me. And a lot of attorneys don't answer their phone. They go through services. I don't have any of those services. I have a receptionist that answers the phone. But I answer the phone 90 out of 100 calls. There's always those times where you're just in between cases and you can't get to the call. So I have to have someone answer for that. But receptionists can't give you legal advice. A paralegal can't give you legal advice. So be wary of those things. Don't take advice from anyone who's not your attorney. All right, I'm attorney Roger P. Foley. God bless you. Have a great day. Bye.